What's going on, everybody? Or should I say Cowabunga dudes, because today we're going to be drawing some Ninja Turtles. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to download this character content worksheet here. And you can do that by clicking the link in the description. Once you have that, you have the character content on the left and you have your workspace on the right to draw in. If you feel like this drawing space is too little, just simply print this off and then just work on a separate piece of paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to draw one Ninja Turtle today, because truthfully, if you know how to draw one, you know how to draw them all. The only thing that's going to change is the shade of green that you're using and then the bandana color. I'm going to draw my favorite Ninja Turtle, but I won't let you know who that is. I'll let that be a little bit of a surprise for later on. Okay, so let's set these aside. Let's get ready to go. Okay, so the material, the lineup, what are we working with today? Well, we're going to draw this with an HB pencil. That's just your typical everyday pencil. We are going to clean it up afterwards. We're going to get rid of any unwanted marks or smudges with our kneaded eraser. That's what it looks like brand new. But if you just have a pink or a white eraser, that's totally fine. That'll work. We are going to then ink it in black with a fine black marker. If you just have a black pencil crayon, that's cool too. Work with what you got. And then we're going to finish it off with pencil crayons. It's always handy to have a sharpener nearby as well, okay? So let's just set everything aside is set for that HB pencil. Let's get to it. Okay, so I really believe in this step-by-step process. I love having these it's almost like building Lego, where if you follow each step, as I'm going to guide you through it, we'll be able to build our Ninja Turtle here. So we're going to start with step number 1 here, and we're going to start with a sphere. So I know it sounds kind of funny, but keep it light till you know it's right. Don't draw super hard. It's just that much harder to get rid of all those unwanted marks or smudges, okay? So kind of our whole arm action here, nice and loose. We're going to draw this in, okay? So let's draw our face shape. It just goes around and around. It starts to tighten up. If I'm drawing a little bit darker, it's just for you to see, okay? Cool. And what we're going to do is, imagine if that is right down the middle. What we're going to do is we're just going to come off to the left-hand side a little bit. We're going to draw a vertical line that's kind of curved like a C. And it's okay if you go past, beyond the face shape, both on the top and on the bottom. And then imagine if this is right dead smack in the middle horizontally. What we're going to do is we're just going to do it a little bit above that. We're going to curve just like a smiley face line, and that's going to be our eye line. Now, just to give a little bit of reference, here's a face reference sheet that I put together. So our character is this one here, the 3/4 front left view. So it's just saying that even though our character is looking to the right here, they are facing the viewer's left. If that curve was like a backward C, they would be facing the viewer's right. If that center line, so you can see the center lines here, if it's perfectly up and down and left to right, that's facing dead smack, right dead on. And if that center line, the further it gets towards the left, our character starts to turn and they're looking totally to the viewer's left. And as that line goes, that center line goes to the right, they're facing the viewer's right. Cool. So just for a little bit of reference, this is how our Ninja Turtle is going to be facing today. Okay. Put that aside. All right, and that's step number 1 done. Step number 2 is going to be this cool C-looking shape. And if you make it a little bit more of a point here than it's rounded, that's fine too. You do you. You are the artist. Okay. So I'm going to start about here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to actually be coming right off of the face here. And this is our Ninja Turtle's nose. Okay, so I'm actually going to start a little bit below the line too. I'm going to go right here. Okay, so I'm just going to come up like this. You can see I'm sketching, right? I'm not doing a solid line. I'm not 100% sure where this is going to be. So I'm just getting a feel for this. Okay. I'm going to stop right about there. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to step number 3. So step number 3, you can see, this is the top of the nose. It kind of comes down, and this actually is the top of the mouth. So we're just going to carry on with this, this big backward C, and come right back to this nose here, okay? So let's continue on like this. We're going to stay on the face. We're not going off. We're going to curve back around, something like this. Right back to that nose. All right. And then what we're going to do, see through the middle here. So it kind of looks like this heart rate monitor, a series of triangles just right in the center. You can go big, small, whichever you like. Those are his teeth, so they're like grinning together. All right. Awesome. Step 4 is, this is actually the right cheek, the chin, and the left cheek. You could do it all as one. You could break it down into smaller pieces, like the right side, then the chin, then the left side. It's totally up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to come right off of this part here. And I'm just going to come around like a backwards C. And I'm touching this eye line here. Okay, if you come off the face, that's fine. So I'm going to curve around like this. And remember, like when you do this in these reference lines, there's just guides. What it's basically saying is like, hey, the head is going to be here. It's giving us like some type of reference or landmark. So we don't have to go all the way down here if we don't want to. I'm going to kind of bring mine up just a little bit. So I'm going to drop it down into like a U shape here, or like a smiley face line. Just going to get rid of this one here. Okay, so it's going to come like this, and I'm going to just drop down like this into that like smiley face line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to come up. Now see here, our cheek touches here. It can touch over here too. So this is just like a C shape, right? And then it comes down and it leads into that chin, right? So we see our chin. I'm going to actually drop this just a little bit. This is why it's important to draw light, so you can get rid of any unwanted marks, okay? But if that is bothering you, where you can see through, just get rid of it. So you get more like something more like this. And I'll just walk you through one more time so you can totally have an idea of what's going on here, so you're not lost. Okay, so what we did is we curved around, got it to here, carried on with the mouth, and did the teeth. Then we picked our drawing up from here. We went around like a backwards C. We dropped down into the chin with that big like smiley face line. And we brought back up and we went into a proper C. I said you could draw to here, so your cheek touches the same like eye line over here, or you can get rid of it like I did here if it's bothering you too much, okay? And step 4 is done. All right, step 5, we're gonna go 5, 6, and 7. I'm just gonna label those there. And again, you put them in whatever order you want. This is the order I'm going in. There's a reason why these steps aren't numbered on here. It's because if you want to change things up, you go ahead and you do it. You got to do what works for you. So step 5, this is going to actually be the bandana. So you can determine how thick do you want this bandana. So I'm just going to give myself a mark like that. All right, and what we're going to do is just off here, right off the face, we're just going to curve like a C. And we're going to do another little curve here. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to hoop this around a little more. Okay, then we're going to go on the inside of this. We're just going to do like a frown line. Okay. And then what we're going to do is on top of that frown line, we're going to curve around like the number 3. Okay. So we're going to curve. And what we're going to do is as we're curving here, we're bringing it all the way over to this side of the face. We're going to come off the side of the face just a little bit. We're going to get into that 3. So 1, 2. Okay. So something like that in here. Nice. And that is step 5, 6, and 7 done. Okay. Let's do the sides of the bandana here. Let's do the sides. So what we're going to do is step 8 is going to be, see these 3s here? Like 2 3s. What they're going to be is the knots of the bandana. So it's like it's pulled tight here. So you can just come in here and you can do like a 3 like this. And you can do a separate, like another 3 just below it if you like. And as you're doing those 3s, like see the center here? It's okay if you touch back to the bandana if you want. Nice. Okay, you can make them a little bit bigger if you want. It's totally up to you. You're the artist, you're in charge. Now, step 9 is like the end. So after they're tied, it's the end parts of the bandana. And if you want like traditional Ninja Turtle style, like the old cartoon style, it looks like this. It's more like a leaf shape. Okay, so it looks something like this. With a line, see where the knot is? And line coming out from there. So it could either be a frown line or a smile line. It's up to you. But the point is they're more like leaf shape. I like how these look. The leaf shape looks cool. I'm going to do mine more like this, with they're elongated and a little bit more like flowing. So if you don't like the leaves shape, just let's leave them alone. And let's put in these here. So how you're going to do this one is just like this, okay? So we'll do the top one first. Is you're just going to come up like a wave. Like you're going to curve. You're going to go down. Curve again, just like a wavy line like this. Oh, it kind of looks like bacon. And you're going to curve up to a point. And you're just going to repeat this line like here. You're just going to repeat it backwards to the knot. And if you did it once, let's do it again. So let's start with the wave. Up to the point, let's just curve back. Nice. Now, what you can do is see this little part of the line here. Your first wave just come into the bandana bit. So that first wave into the bandana bit. Okay, it's just like a little bit of a fold, a crease. Nice. Step 9 is done. Okay. Step 10. Let's actually, before we do step 10, what we're going to do is see the top of that circle that we drew at the beginning. I'm just going to darken it up a bit just so you can see that face shape coming together. Awesome. Okay, step 10. What we're going to do is 10 is going to be the smaller eye. 11 is going to be the bigger one, okay? And actually, we're going to start with step 11 here. We're going to go a little bit backwards, okay? So what we're going to do is just this far in is we're going to put this eye. This eye is bigger because it's closer to us. This eye is smaller because it's further away. A little bit of perspective here. And we're just going to do this. We're going to start here. And we're going to curve like a big like check mark here. Okay, and actually, you know what? Before I do it, I'm just going to move mine up just a little bit. I apologize. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to start right about here. We're going to curve up like a big check mark. Okay, just like this. And then what we are going to do is we're going to come down to like almost like a point right there. Okay, and from here we're just going to be drawing like a big smiley face line. So just from here, we're going to start here and end here. Swooping down. Nice, there's our smiley face line. Okay, so now in this space, we're going to do the same thing. It's okay if our line is a little bit closer, where we're starting a little bit closer to that center line. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to curve backwards the other way. All right, this time we're not going to just curve down. We're stopping here. We're going to pick it up just in here, curve down, and then we're going to finish like a point, and we're going to just put another smiley face line back to here. Nice. So steps 10 and 11 are done. All right, let's get on to the neck. So what we can do is the neck is going to be step 12 and 13 are going to be the neck here. And what we're going to do is just where the chin kind of is, we're just going to curve in a backward C here. And over here, we're going to curve just in like a proper C. Just it's a slight little curve here, okay? You determine how thick you want the neck to be. Like you can move it over always. Again, drawing light, just get rid of it. Along the way, if any lines are really bothering you, you can get rid of them, but I encourage you to just leave them to the end. As long as they're light, you're fine. All right? Okay, so that's 12 and 13 done, and those are like the neck. All right, now, step 14 and 15 are going to be a series of like these curves, okay? So what we're gonna do is it's just like starting up high and then falling down to the left, like going down a hill. We're going to start here. So our first one is going to be right here, okay? Right where like the chin and the neck come together. We're going to just curve down like this. And what these are, this line is his traps, so his neck muscles. This guy never misses gym day, clearly. Okay, so we have 1. We're going to start here. We're going to do 2. These are going to be the start of his shoulders. We're going to start about here to finish off the outside of his shoulder. So 3. Okay, so 1, neck. 2, the start of the shoulder. 3, the outside shoulder. And then our 4th one is actually going to just be up here, and it's going to be his shell. Okay, so how thick do we want that shell to be? I think I want it to be that thick. Nice. So that's 14. Step 15, we're going to do the same thing, just the opposite, okay? A little remix. So we're going to start high and fall down to the right this time. So again, this guy shoulder shrugs like crazy. We have 1 line there, 1 curve. Pick it up just inside here. Curve down again. All right, start of the shoulder. Go about here. Curve again for the outside of the shoulder. Awesome. And then that shell, if you want, like you can carry it all the way through if you want. If not, just put it in here and just curve down again. Amazing. Hopefully yours is looking good. Okay, step 16 is going to be like kind of like this, almost like a M shape, right? But what we're going to do is see the center of the neck here. Just let's give ourselves a little bit of a mark for the center of the neck. And what this part is it's the top of the shell. Okay, so the reason why I had you do that is because see this point here? We're actually going to build it off of here. So we want it to be somewhat in the center, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to come over from here. We're going to curve around. We're just going to fall down like this. Don't actually fall down. Just curve down like this. Right, and we're gonna, on this side, we're gonna do the same thing, but what we're gonna do to change this up a little bit is you can see there's a little bit of a curved line in here. Okay, so this shoulder is kind of like coming forward in front of the shell. Nice. If you want, they're not on here, but see at the bottom part of the neck, just do 1 frown line and then another frown line over here, okay? Getting all fancy, that's the clavicle, also known as the collarbone. Fancy, fancy. Awesome. Hopefully you like how your Ninja Turtles turning out. I absolutely love the Ninja Turtles. 80s kid, so this was so much of my childhood. I almost said my favorite one, but my favorite movie, hands down, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. Feel free to comment and share which one you like the best, but I don't know. There's a new one coming out, but I don't know if they're going to be able to beat that one. That was pretty awesome. Okay, step number 17 are these little beauty marks here on our turtle. So you can put them wherever you want. I'm going to put 1 here, okay? And as much as you can put them wherever you want, they can be whatever size or shape too. So they could be ovals or circles, big or small. I'm going to do a big one here. Working in ovals, I'm going to do a second one here and a third one here. I'm going to do one right on the schnoz here. There's 1, 2, and let's go here 3. So there's a total of 6, but you can use put in more if you want. Just don't go crazy, okay? And that is our drawing done. Looks pretty awesome, okay? I think this looks cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my kneaded eraser now. And this is the thing, like you can use any eraser that I told you, but I love this one because if you can, if you like to fidget, you can model it in any shape you want. But you could go to a point. You can really go a little bit harder, get rid of that like center line if you want that we put in as reference. Right? Or you can use it like sticky tack, almost, right? And what it does is it pulls off a layer of graphite every single time you use it. Or my absolute favorite, this is what I love about it. So your hands are warm, right? So what you do is the more you knead this, because it's called a kneaded eraser, okay? Just in case you need an eraser. But what you can do is you can actually, like, the more you play with it, it gets warm, right? You can model it into like a sausage link here. You can roll it out on your desk if you want, or table. And then what you can do is you can just roll over your drawing. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm rolling over this, and it's taking off layers of graphite at a time. And if you go nice and slow, you're in charge, right? If you go so fast, like, it's harder to be like, okay, stop. This way, you can see the graphite coming off, and you can decide when to, like, kind of like peace out from this thing, right? When to stop rolling over it. So some of the marks on there, you might have to go a little bit harder, like the ones for reference, if you want. Okay, otherwise, it looks awesome. Nice and light. We don't need it to be so dark. Cool. Now see some of those lines, like, personally, I love to see like the sketchiness of a drawing. I love to see the artist's hand. But if you don't, totally get rid of them, right? And it should look like this. This thing's awesome. This kneaded eraser will quickly become your best friend. Just don't go telling everybody you're best friends with a kneaded eraser. You might sound a little needy. I'm going to ink this thing with my black fine tip marker. We'll see you when I'm done. Do is I'm going to finish mine off by coloring it in. This character content is really nice to use on the side, because if you want to try out different colors or shades for your Ninja Turtle, this is a spot to do it before you go and kind of commit to this. You can just have a sheet, obviously, kicking around to try it out, but you have face shape parts here, so why not use them? Whatever bandana color you want, you can try it out. You can definitely blend and layer your colors to create new ones. Especially when you're playing around with those greens, okay? Flat color blocks look like this. So if you want to color block it just like this, hey, if this is a skin color, go for it. If you want to layer over it and get into maybe some shades and that with it, okay? Don't do that. Okay, if you want to work on with some of the different greens here, just go like this. Just layer the green over top, and you get different shades, okay, from light to dark. But this is a nice little place to play around with that. Feel free to use it. I do often. It just adds to kind of the process work. I'm a sucker for process work. I love to see it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color this in. Can't wait to see what you do when you're done. Okay, good luck, everybody. Right, everybody, just to sell that this is done even more, let's just quickly, let's put in that bow staff. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to come up like this. Okay, and what we're going to do is just hook back around like a nice diagonal line, hook back around like that backward C, and bring it right back to the shell. Okay, and if you want, you can put like a triangle in here at the top, make it look like a crack in the staff. Maybe it's been in a few tussles or something. Make it wider if you want. You know what, I'm gonna go like here. I'm gonna make it like that wide. Cool. And just simply ink it. And now just quickly color it in. Okay, awesome. Hopefully you're happy with how that turned out. Last thing that we got to do is we just have to put our signature. So we can put our signature, it's usually done in the medium that you did it. So either black, the black fine tip marker or black pencil crayon. And we're just going to put it on the bottom right. So either here, here, and very, very subtle because you don't want it to take away from your drawing. Again, you don't have to do this. I'm just going to do my initials MM. You can get as fancy as you like with this, okay? Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hopefully, again, that you're happy with this. I know that I am. Until next time, Cowabunga dudes.